I'm Tom Ackerman, and this is the Pitcher's Pitch on KMOX.com. We're with former Cardinal Kyle McClellan, and we're breaking down the Cardinals and the Royals, a couple of first-place teams going into the weekend. The Royals off to another good start, and the World Series team from last year, the American League champions, are back. You know, I like to poke fun at them sometimes on the air. I say, these guys went to one postseason. Suddenly they're the bad boys of baseball. They were involved in some fracases early in the season. What did you make of all that, Kyle?
I think they got young players that are learning, what it's like to win, and also learning what it's like to have a target on your back. I mean, now everybody's gunning for them, and there's a way to do it. And I think they're learning that when you have Ventura, who is in the middle of a lot of it, very, very young, and trying to kind of establish his place in, the starting pitching ranks. A lot of that can happen. So I think they've cooled off since then a little bit as far as their tempers have. And look, it's hard enough to win with a target on your back, and then you go out and do that. It becomes even more difficult. So hopefully they've learned their lesson and can tone it down a little bit.
Nice club. I mean, they can hit, they have good pitching, and they have great defense behind those pitchers, don't they?
Yeah, and I tell you what, for the St. Louis fans, if you've never been to a game there, if you have a weekend off, go watch a game in Kansas City. It's one of my favorite places to go on the road, one of my favorite stadiums. Great barbecue. It's a really neat area, but it's a fun team to watch. They got a little bit of everything. Defense, base running. They can do it all. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup here for the Cardinals.
And the Cardinals will be going after them with their three best starters: Lance Lynn, John Lackey, and Michael Wacha, who is 6-0. Kyle, let's start with Lynn on Friday night. Like what you've seen from him?
Yeah, he went deeper in the game, which is what we've been talking about, I feel like, since the season started. So I think he's kind of settling into who we know he can be. Early on there, a couple short outings, which wasn't really like him. But yeah, they definitely, Cardinals have their three best starters going, and gives them a great opportunity in this series.
I talked to Mike Matheny about this earlier this week. John Lackey was not happy about being pulled after 76 pitches. What do you expect? Is John Lackey, for goodness sakes. The two talked it out. They're fine. You want your pitchers to stay in there, want to stay in there, don't you?
Yeah, and I mean, there's a respect that has to be had, and I'm sure in the moment it's hard to keep your emotions in check. When you look up and know you only threw, was it 76 or 79 pitches at that point, you still feel like you're going to be in there and rest your bullpen. I mean, look, those starters take it personally when they can't go deep in the game, and especially when the bullpen needs some time off. So, it's one of those things that you don't talk about it that day. You wait till the next day when everybody can go home and get some sleep on it. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he's ever been happy to get taken out of a game. I don't care if he gave up 10 runs in the first inning. I think he's always going to give you some trouble. But as long as there's a mutual respect there, and I think it's all fine.
And then Michael Wacha on Sunday, 6-0, off to a great start, and really on an all-star game trajectory at this point. Kyle McClellan, the former Cardinal, with us. He loves Kansas City, and so do I. I like the Cardinals to win this series. I think they'll be energized by the Cardinals fans in the crowd, and they can take 2 out of 3. But while you're there, if you go to the game, stop by the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. It's not just a baseball museum. It is a history museum. It's outstanding. Kansas City's a great baseball town. Kyle, we appreciate it. Thank you. KMOX.com/Mac for all your stuff. Have a great weekend.
You too.
That's Kyle McClellan. I'm Tom Ackerman. The Pitcher's Pitch on KMOX.com.